Hawaii, Dahe Pashe, Zani, Wabi Hoimpi Kombra. Welcome to This Osage Life, a video podcast about everything Osage. I am your host, Shannon Shaw Duty, editor of the Osage News, the official independent media of the Osage Nation. I am excited to introduce you to our guests, three Osage business owners who are thriving. Dante Biss-Grayson, artist, designer, and owner of Sky Eagle Collection. Josh Smith, owner of Ekowah Coffee and a liaison for small businesses. Faren Revard Anderson and Jackie Wilcox, owners of Spurs and Arrows, a popular store on Pawhuska's Main Street and popular tourist stop. Dante, let's start with you.
Hawaii, everybody. Good to see everyone virtually. I'm Dante Biss-Grayson. Osage name is Waseata, which means first son of the Eagle clan, and happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I'm the founder of the Sky Eagle Collection. It's evolved. It's a brand, a fashion brand, and now it's a fashion house. And it looks to empower and bring light to issues that are impacting Indian country, but also to get into spaces such as New York Fashion Week, where we can remind people out there that we're still here. So honored to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Dante. Next, Josh, please tell us a little about yourself and your business.
Hi, my name is Josh Smith, co-owner of Ekowah Coffee. We're a coffee company based on foundation of Ekowah means friendship, and we try to keep that in our heart from the ground up. We're friend to the earth, friend to the farmers who are farming the coffee, and finally to the people who drink it. I also work with Running Strong for American Indian Youth with their micro enterprise development program. We're seeking just to empower Native entrepreneurs with education, with financing, whatever they really need to succeed.
Thank you, Josh. And next we have Jackie Wilcox and Faren Anderson. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and your business.
I'm Faren Anderson, and this is my cousin, Jackie Wilcox. We are co-owners of Spurs and Arrows. We're here in Pawhuska. We are at 128 East Main Street. We have been in business for 18, almost 19 years now. We have been located in almost the same location for that amount of time. We are a retail business that has Osage-inspired teas, arts, crafts, products. We carry Pendleton line. We have gifts. We carry like a Western and Native products. Like you said, we are a local shop that's been here. We try to cater to some of the Osage people for some of the needs that they have, and we are excited that you've invited us to talk to you today.
Well, I know I'm a frequent patron of your store, so I'm already a big fan. So I want to talk about inspiration for all of you business owners. So I'm going to start with Dante. Dante, your business is relatively new, but you've been an artist for quite some time. So as an artist and fashion designer, how do you stay inspired? How do you keep churning out idea after idea?
It's part of the journey. After getting back from the military, I was overseas quite a while. Came back, had my daughter, Ella Sky Eagle. And, I just started finding out about different issues that were impacting Indian country, and I wanted to do something about it, but I was out of the military. So trying to find other platforms, healing ways, also have PTSD. So I wanted to find another, way to kind of heal and therapy. So just a whole mix of things, social justice is a big component that drives me. It's a new mission, also family, I formed the fashion house Sky Eagle. So one day I could give it to our daughter. My wife and I want to pass it on. So a lot of ways, that's like Osage ways. We, as we get on our journey and eventually, become elders, we want to be able to give back, and and that's kind of the cycle. But also, like, I was sitting there overseas for like 12 years, and notes and sitting in Afghanistan, Iraq, and I had my little notebook and everything, and doing some drawings, and I just had so many ideas, and it just I have years of designs ready to go. So like this is really just the tip of the iceberg for the success that we've had so far, and it's been fun. So it's there's a lot of things every day. Just gotta get up and take care of business, you know.
So since you are an artist at heart, I follow you on TikTok and Instagram, and the videos of your fashion shows are mesmerizing. I can watch them for a long time. So how much work goes into hosting a fashion show?
It's pretty intense. I mean, I'm learning along the way, like my fellow Osages and entrepreneurs here probably can attest to, but there is no game plan. You can have this is where we want to go, but you have to learn along the way. And I think that's one of the best ways to explore and find. So producing a show, a fashion show, is huge. But I took a lot of the same skills from the military with having a plan, being organized, and that's a good way. Once once the show starts, it's ready to go. So building these structures in place that have flexible points, it takes a lot. Also building teams, delegating down, because you got everything from logistics to models to photography to promotion to taxes. I mean, there's just all these things, and that all goes into one 1 hour little frame, and then also producing and designing the clothing. So it takes a lot, but it's fun. And I always tell myself, if it's not fun, I'm going to do something else.
I don't doubt it. I think you could do anything you set your mind to, Dante.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to speak with Josh. So Josh, Indian country knows who Billy Mills is. He's a legend, and his company, Running Strong for American Indians, or his nonprofit, helps a lot of small businesses, Native businesses. So tell us about your relationship with Billy Mills Association and how you're helping Natives start their own businesses. And full disclosure, Josh is currently helping my husband and I with our business startup.
Awesome. Yeah, so we heard of Running Strong, oh man, 5 or so years ago. I was working in the nonprofit sector, and kind of just finished up grad school and trying to figure out what that long-term thing was. And I always just dreamed of starting a business. I always loved entrepreneurship and the freedom it gives you with your family, and to build your own destiny, really. And thankfully, my mom always keeps an eye out for me. And she said, hey, this grant popped up. It's called the Dream Starter Grant. And they say they're going to help people start businesses. You should apply. And I said, oh, well, that's for somebody else. I'm sure a lot of people need more than I do, et cetera, et cetera. And my wife kind of kicked me and said, this has been your dream, and this is what this grant's for. And so we applied. It was pretty hastily. We had like 2 days left or something, and applied for what they call their Dream Starter Program, which is a grant that year was specifically to start businesses. They do different ones each year. Billy Mills, after he won, this is at least the story he told us, after he won his gold medal, his people's custom is, when you have a victory, you celebrate by going and giving gifts. And so he's spent pretty much the rest of his life giving back because of that rejoicing from that victory. And so yeah, each year is a different Dream Starter program. I think right this year they just closed the applications for the environmental focused Dream Starter. So they do incredible things. And so I applied and we got the grant, and had the pleasure of meeting the crew of Running Strong and getting to know them a little better. And just as we got to know them, really was became clear, these are people I want to be around. I believe in what they're doing. I want to be a part of it in some way. And they do an incredible job of, even after you get their grant, they follow up, they ask how you're doing. They say, hey, what else do you need? And so for a couple of years, we've been building our business and keeping in touch. And yeah, they've just kept following up and helped us start this most recent program, our micro enterprise development program as well. So no too much.
So you've helped a lot of businesses. You've seen a lot of different types of businesses, and I'm sure with working with the organization, you've learned even more just from personal experience. So out of the businesses you've helped, which ones end up being the most successful?
Yeah, success is an interesting word. I was thinking about this earlier. I think the most successful ones are the ones who are able to align what they're doing with their values, because you can make a boatload of money and really life is miserable. It doesn't line up with who you are, who your people are. And so the ones that I've seen come from the beginning saying, this is who I am, this is what we want to accomplish, and this is why. I don't want to make $10 million in the first year. What I want to do is have more time with my kids. Those people, I think, find what I would define as real success.
That's great. And sounds true. I'm going to believe you. So next, I want to speak with Faren and Jackie. And, I've been shopping at Spurs and Arrows for years. Like I said, I think it's safe to say your store has become a staple of Pawhuska's business landscape. The Osage News office is on Kahika Avenue in Pawhuska, and we've seen many businesses come and go over the years, some lasting less than a year. What's your secret to running a successful business that has survived when so many did not?
Sure. We've been in business, I think my cousin said, for 18 going on 19 years. And we opened a store long before all the tourists, the foot traffic that you see now wasn't here when we opened. In fact, I think we're probably the oldest gift shop in town right now. And we opened on a shoestring budget, and we had a few core concepts in mind when we opened that we kept throughout those years. And the first one was, we always try to ask a fair price for a good product. We want people to be happy with what they buy. We want them to remember us, and we want them to come back. So customer retention, right? And we try to stay in our own lane. If another business in town is focusing on something, we stay out of that, and we kind of do our own thing. Many items that you see in our store are custom to us, and they're unique to us. So you won't see the same thing in all the stores. And then the third one, we're not one-dimensional. We try to stay flexible. A few years into when we opened, we added custom embroidery, and we added custom printed tees. And that helped to bring an entirely different customer base for us. And then we also noticed our target audience changed a little bit when all the tourist traffic came in. So we try to take a portion of our products and we geared it towards that.
I feel like that's one of the important things that's helped us is we've been very adaptable, and we've learned where there might be a need for a service or a product. And if we can provide that, then we jump right in and we try to do something that maybe somebody's looking for. So we've been very adaptable. If you'd ask us 15 years ago if we'd be doing the same things that we are now, we probably wouldn't have guessed that. So we've just learned along the way. And I think one of the keys to it has been the adaptability.
Yeah.
Your embroidery is really beautiful. So, you guys do a lot in the store, and there's a lot of custom made materials and apparel like you guys touched on. Can you tell us how much work goes into learning how to do all of these things, and how you have to keep educating yourself on selling merchandise that people are gonna want?
Well, one of the things that I guess expanding on the adaptability is we added the embroidery a few years back, and it was pretty much self-taught. We learned how to do it. We just jumped right in. We decided it was something that we could offer. We could do something custom for people, and it was a good avenue for us to take. So we just got better and better, and we try to learn new ways. And I feel like every day we are learning. Every day we're trying to find new ways to do something, trying to find a a better way to do it, maybe a different way at times. If we don't understand, or maybe just don't quite get where some of the products should be heading, sometimes we reach out to our family members and we reach out to others that are local, and we ask them, hey, can you help us with either some of the words or some of the history, kind of why we're doing some of the things that we're doing. And I feel that that goes back to us trying to provide a product that we as Osages would use and that we would need and that we would wear. One of the things that I found that was very important to us is probably last year in 1 month, we made about maybe approximately 25 to 30 skirts. And they were broadcloth dance skirts. They had embroidery on them, and people could come in, they could pick the colors that they wanted, they could pick the design, they could talk it over with us. And we were very personable about it. And we tried to help one-on-one people decide what they wanted in their product, something they could be proud of. And then the neatest part about it is when we left here one day at dance time, and we went to the dances and we watched, you just see your products go around that drum. And it's amazing to think that we had a hand in helping the customers create what they wanted. And I feel like that's been important. And it makes it special to us. Yeah. And so we feel like that has been key, and that has just been us learning as we go. I don't feel like we know everything. I feel like we know very little, and sometimes there's just so much more that we could learn as we go. So
that's great. And I think that goes to what Josh was speaking about, loving your business and loving what you do. That's great. So next I want to talk about, when someone starts a business, I'm sure they have dreams of what they want that business to be. So I'd like to start with Dante. So what is your dream for Sky Eagle collection?
Sky Eagle, I kind of have a good vision on 5-10 years, take it towards, the big goal is to be a global fashion brand that's shoulder to shoulder with Gucci. So I aim high. I was like, some people say native Gucci, I don't know, but I've been able to figure out some supply chains and designs and marketing. So that's my goal. The overall broad concept of Sky Eagle fashion house under an umbrella. I'm branching out, launching some other brands. I have a Wow Pow collection, which is urban wear, streetwear, because you got to diversify, especially for fashion. It can be over in a day. So having all these different other backup brands. Also, I'm starting a Sky Eagle Media, where I'm going to be consulting with corporations and individual business owners who want to know how to grow a brand on e-commerce, how to promote it, how to utilize all the tools, how to start from scratch, there's a bunch of things. Also, cultural understanding and sensitivity to certain projects. So that'll be under the Sky Eagle Media brand. And then this year I'm going to branch out into ranch wear. I've in talks with some people. So I think, cowboy shirts, custom, branch out into maybe some dresses and that type of thing. And then the other brand is going to be like cold weather, like hunting gear, ski clothes for like the mountain, that type of thing. And there's just a lot of spaces out there that a lot of native designers haven't gotten into. So I've gotten all these platforms, and I've really invested into Sky Eagle as itself, and we've launched. I mean, it's been a huge success. But now I got to leverage all of that and kind of diversify. So that's the overall goal. So I'm going to take down Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and we'll start there, then see what happens after that.
They better watch out. That's all I got to say.
Hey, there you go. I'll never forget about Pahusco.
Well, Josh, what do you see for Ekowah Coffee?
Yeah, well, that's hard to follow. I'm ambitious, but woo, that's fantastic. I really, I see kind of similar to what Dante was saying. I want to branch out into some other things and grow our brand. Coffee is, we love coffee, but we'd love to go into teas. We'd love to go into, even staying with coffee, instant coffees, things like that. But really just working with that mentality of friend from the bottom up in every piece of things. So whatever we step into, keeping that. But yeah, I think long term, one of the first big goals is we'd like to start employing people here locally. I think that's a big part of my value as a business owner. Is I want to not just take from the community, I want to give back into it. And so looking at, okay, how can we do that? How can we scale to a point where we're giving jobs to the community? How can we scale to the point where we're able to donate more? How do we scale to the point where we're able to give people a platform and, see their business take off and help them more? So I kind of see it as a tool, a means to an end, to giving back and trying to make the whole community better, not just our lives.
Well, I would love to see a whole line of teas, just saying. Especially some, like natural teas. I mean, that just sounds great to me. So,
yeah.
Next we have Faren and Jackie. What do you see for Spurs and Arrows in 5 to 10 years?
Well, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we are a family business. So we have been very proud that the last few summers, our nephew, our niece, our cousin has come and they have worked with us and they've learned some of the business aspects of the store. Because of that, I feel like we have had one of our nephews has joined us and he helps make the t-shirts. We have Kyle here in-house and he makes the t-shirts for us and he does anything that we ask as far as learning new projects and learning new stuff. So he's here with us. And then our other nephew, Christopher, he has a vision that he would like to take over the business. So for us, we look at it like that would be great. We could retire. He can take it over and then maybe we can work for him one day.
He already bosses us.
So we're pretty proud that it's me, my cousin, our moms, our nephews, our cousin, our niece, any of our family that comes in and helps us. It excites us to be able to build upon that. And we feel very honored that we have the opportunity to work together. So I see that we're going to have more projects, maybe expand a little bit on some of the cultural projects and the items that we provide. We try to do that as often as we can. Time is a limiting factor. So we see that hopefully we're going to be able to be more successful than we are. We're very happy with where we have, how far we've come. And we're very excited that we can provide a item or a project to the locals and to the people that we live with. We live with our Osage people, and every day we're just excited to be able to provide something that somebody might need and make it very special to them. So
Great answer. So next I want to talk about advice. Dante, let's start with you. So in terms of running your own business, what is the best advice you have received, and what is advice you would give to people starting a new business?
Like I said before, I didn't really have a background in business per se. I do have a master's in a totally different field, but I read a lot. And Sir Richard Branson is one of my favorite entrepreneurs, and his books, his autobiography, is just amazing. His journey, as far as starting the Virgin companies and all of that. And he always says, "Don't be embarrassed by your failures." Kind of always like that. Kind of in the art and creativity as well. Like, don't overthink it, and embrace the accident, as Jackson Pollock said. And also fun, making sure that I have a lot of fun along the way. I mean, it's cool that, I get to go to these different places. I'll be going to Cannes, I'll be going to New York Fashion Week. But the main advice is, like, yeah, if you're not having fun, then why not? Why are you doing it? And for the creative side, there's always this whole, I'm going to be discovered one day, and don't be that person to just wait around. Like, if you're sitting on the couch or in your studio and be like, oh, it'd be cool if Tom Ford, showed up here and discovered me, like, if you're waiting on that, you're wasting your time, because sure, maybe it'll happen, but you got to put yourself in spaces and get out there and get it every day. So just like my fellow entrepreneurs here, like, every day you're putting in a little bit of work, a little bit of time. So that's the biggest advice that I have.
I agree. Get off the couch, get out there.
Yeah.
And then Josh, most of your business is online, but you are also at every Osage event or Native American event in Oklahoma, hustling for your business. I've seen you. How much work should someone expect to do when beginning a business? And what's your advice on how to alleviate that pressure?
Yeah, well, I think the honest answer is a lot, especially if it's kind of tips, the more you rely on it for your income. And I think you get to that point where it's the full leap of leaping into a business, and it just takes all your time to run. And at that point, it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work. The advice I'd probably give is to work smarter and harder, both at the same time. You got to have that hustle. You hear the stories, and Richard Branson's a great example, but time and again, the successful entrepreneurs are the ones who are willing to put in that little bit of extra work, little bit of extra hustle, but don't do it just to spin your wheels. I think you can get to a mindset where I have to be everywhere all the time. I have to do 90 bazillion different product lines. I have to. And if that is dictating what you're producing, your strategy kind of blows away. So move from your strategy, move from the plan you might have set, or the idea, that the vision that brought you to that business in the first place, and make decisions about what you do and don't do from that, rather than trying to do everything.
I agree. We don't need more things on our plate, that's for sure. And then Faren and Jackie, since you have been in business for so long, was there ever a time when you thought, this is it, we're not going to make it? How did you overcome your challenges and persevere?
No, we didn't get to have that thought. I guess we've never thought, how are we going to not make it? We've always been under the mindset of, what are we going to do next? Where are we going to go next? What are we going to add? What can we do to make it better? What can we add? What can we?
Adaptability.
It's the adaptability again, like we talked about earlier. It's what can we do to provide a service that's needed, or to provide a product that's needed. And we feel like every day we do what we can to give people more than they expect. And that's what we try to do.
Okay, so I chose all of you for this podcast because I see you out in the community. I know other Osages see you out in the community. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, that are thinking, I want to start a business, but I don't know how, or, so I kind of look at you all as success stories to help the community. What are your thoughts on being Osage business owners? And maybe you have an upcoming event or a sale for your business or something, to get out there to the community. Go ahead, Dante, we can start with you.
Okay, thank you. Being an Osage business owner, pretty honored, pretty proud, because looking at the, national numbers, different tribes and all of that, we're a rare breed, and being able to be one of the few handful of Osage businesses in these spaces, definitely honored, and a lot of people are like, oh, what tribe, or, oh, I didn't even know natives are still there, that type of thing. So it's been a great journey. And again, just humbled and honored. I always remind them, Osage, that's what I grew up with. And, it's just the beginning for me. Next up in next month, actually, a couple weeks, I'll be in New York for their Fashion Week, which is pretty awesome. I got an interview with like NBC. I'm invited to Paramount. I'm going to the Smithsonian. There's a lot of talks and meetings, so it's pretty amazing. But I always remember myself, gotta be humble, but have fun. And then Cannes, south of France. I'll be going down there as well. And I actually submitted one of the documentaries I helped produce and write and direct. So who knows, maybe my small piece that's about Native veterans and all that. But also I'm headlining a runway show down there. We're gonna have Miss Universe, she's walking for us. So it's a whole thing. And then in Santa Fe, end of the year, we're going to have 100 looks during the Santa Fe Indian Market, a few on horseback at this resort and all this. And so it'll be super fun. And then 2024, like it keeps on adding up. It'll be a huge runway show at the base of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. So it'll kind of like wrap up my whole plan. After that, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's been fun.
Well, Josh, you want to go next?
Not really. Wow. That's well, not quite so much travel for me. Honestly, I think in terms of Osages out there who are looking to start a business, don't be afraid to fail. I think a lot of times you have a million ideas and they might be really good ones. But that first step into actually giving it a shot it's scary. It's really scary, but our people have always moved forward. That we've been good at really taking this world by its horns. I mean, we've done some really amazing things, and don't be scared. Give it a try. And worst that can happen is you fail, and when you do, just fail well. I mean, that's okay, and keep moving forward. And as far as what we're working on, Ekowah, check out our website, ekowahcoffee.com. We're selling coffee all over the nation. The biggest project I'm working on is the Micro Enterprise Development Program. And we're doing a pilot program alongside Running Strong here in Northeast Oklahoma. But as that develops and as we kind of hammer out what that looks like, they'd like to take that program nationally. And I'd really love to see applications from Osages all over the country. It'd be awesome to be able to support them and provide, finances, training, whatever they need to take that step or take the 100th step, whatever it is. I always say you don't have to be trying to build a multi-million-dollar business. Maybe all you want to do is take a little pressure off paying for your kids' college. I mean, that is enough to give it a shot. Entrepreneurship is fun. Have fun with it. If it's not fun, don't keep doing it, as Dante was saying. But we just gotta go for it.
And I do want to say one thing before Jackie and Faren close us out. I fully expect to be going to Spurs and Arrows well into my 60s and 70s. So I just I look forward to seeing Christo there running the store. But do you guys have any final thoughts for us?
Well, I'm very proud to be an Osage-owned business. Proud the fact that we've been here this long, and very proud and happy that we get to do it as a family.
The one thing I would like to add is how amazing it's been that we've been here so long that some of our customers have become like family.
Yeah, exactly.
They come in every year and we see them at Christmas time, and there's times when you don't see them and you worry about them, and then you might reach out to them and it's just that maybe they couldn't get out of the house or whatever it be, and or they got busy. But there's many customers that we have that have turned into family, and we enjoy when they come in to the store that we get to visit with them. We get to be a little tiny part of their life. And I think that that's kind of exciting to us. And it's something that we didn't know would happen when we first started this. And so we're pretty proud of that. We're proud of being Osage and of being in Pawhuska and in the location that we have been able to be in for so long. I guess one of the things I'd say is if you don't have a Spurs and Arrows t-shirt yet, then I think everybody can find one of those on our website. We have a website, Spurs and Arrows, and we're also on Facebook. And we like to use Facebook and social media as much as we can. We feel like that's been a growing part of keeping us out in front of people so they can find us and see what new products that we have coming in. So I guess that's about what we've got.
Well, I want to thank all of you for coming on this Osage Life with me. You know, I think I can safely say that we're all proud of all of you. Dante, you're doing big things. You're showing the world, you know, who the Osage Nation is and showing our native designs, introducing that into the world. I think that's great. And Josh, you're helping many Native Americans across the country start up their own business. I think that's very admirable. And also, we ordered our first order of Ekowah Coffee. And so we're looking forward to doing that. And Jackie and Faren, I think it's wonderful that you're within our community. All us little Osages growing up here, they're going to see you guys, and they know that your store is a safe space to go, and they know that their culture is within your doors. I think that's just great. And so you can follow all of these businesses online. They all have social media, and you can also follow the Osage News on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So until next time, thank you for joining us, and Kashikatan Iwide Demikshe Kakona.